My name is Lee Goldstein. I am from the newstraders.com. TNT, we're the makers of JObb software. That is our proudest accomplishment. We've done some really what I think are some incredibly exciting things with our software this year. Um, I'm an off the cuff kind of guy. I have a PowerPoint, but I'd rather really just talk to you about the upgrades we've made to our software. So I'm going to zip through our PowerPoint. I'm going to take a half an hour of your time. That's it. And I'm going to give you a couple of great reasons why I think you should join our service, take advantage of what we now offer. We are in the middle of completely changing the way we do business in some ways. And it's very exciting. And I don't even think my boss knows what I've done to the software. So I might either lose my job within a week or two, or they're going to be very excited over the changes we've made. So the thing that I am talking about is called the awesome new one-click range trade. We know it as the one-click range trade. I'll explain it in a second. But first, I want to just go through the disclosures that by law we have to let you know that we trade futures. You want to be very careful. You can lose money trading futures. You can lose more money than you have in your account trading futures. So be smart about it. Don't overtrade your account. Don't be reckless. Don't be careless. Study the markets. Do all the right things so that when the day is done and the week is done, you're happy and everybody around you thinks you know what you're doing. And it's a great feeling to be successful rather to be in trouble because you've done some foolish things. All right. So I know you can hear me. I'm assuming you can hear me fine because I see my mic is flying. So just a couple of quick things. I'm going to go through the people that make up our company. Eric Spiker, E-Money, we call him. He's partner number one. This is our big change that we're making for this year. You now can, besides the incredible fun and excitement of trading the news, you now can design your own trade. And while we have not officially released this feature in our trade room, it's officially released as a feature and members are already making money. Member Patrick here is making hundreds of dollars a day trading the one-click range trade because he came up with a setup and he learned how to do it. And that's what we stress at our company. We don't really want you to come in our room and follow us. We're not financial advisors. We're not the greatest human trader that ever lived. We're normal people that have some great ideas, and we want to teach you how to find the reports that make sense to trade the news. The good reports, we'll tell you which ones they are. We'll help you to trade them. But ultimately, our goal is to teach you how to do it. We don't want you to be a victim. We don't want you to be dependent upon us. We want you to empower yourself, make your own decisions. Do it yourself is the most important thing that I can stress. And most of our members, 99% of them, know this. They trade their own setups. Of course, they listen to some of our recommendations, but ultimately, last night I had a trade where I lost a couple of bucks. One of my members made a couple of bucks, the same exact trade because he knew what to do. He traded it a little bit smaller than I traded it. And I was so impressed. I mean, he's my hero for the week because he took my lesson to heart. And my lesson, the most important thing I can teach you is think for yourself, trade on your own, don't need me. Okay? So that's critical. But this design your own trade, trading any style of trade, you could scalp, you could discretionary trade, you could trend trade, you could trade the news. I'm going to get into that as soon as I get through this PowerPoint. Okay. Our owner, second owner, along with Eric Spiker, E-Money, is Jay Offner. He's actually the founder of the program. He works and he lives in Hawaii. He works in Hawaii for the Department of Defense. He's a U.S. Navy in the U.S. Navy Reserves right now. Two very nice people that I work with. I'm the director. And this is me with my kids, with my crazy setup. I'm a musician also. It's interesting. You find a lot of musicians in the trading business. I don't know why, but I run into musicians all the time. It's one of those crazy things. Couple of heads up, just what is news trading? Very simply, news trading is when, for instance, today, the oil report got released at exactly 10:30, and at exactly 10:30, the price of oil jumped one way or another. It either goes up or goes down almost all the time, enough of a move that it can be traded for a profit or a loss. That's what news trading is. Taking advantage of the release of data by agencies, governments, companies, whoever, knowing when those releases are coming out, which is what we specialize in, and then trading them with our software, which does it in a semi-automated fashion. In other words, if we have a trade, for instance, we have a trade like the non-farm payroll trade, okay? Here's an example of what that trade might look like. Let me get rid of the sound real quick. And this is what this trade might look like using automated software. Our software is actually semi-automated, okay? The trade takes place literally in 10 seconds from now. It's an 8:30 trade. It's the payroll report that's coming up this Friday. It's over here on this side. And what you're going to do is you're going to see, I was trading the DAX that day live in our account. You could see that our orders got placed on the chart before the trade was released. Okay. It took a second for the news to hit. Our orders were there, and then the news got released, and our orders were actually hit. One of them got hit immediately, and we got out of the trade for a profit of $137 in about 8 seconds. Okay. That's a very nice news trade, a trade that's automated and you get out very quickly. Not every trade is fast. Not every trade is $1 million trade. Tonight's trade, I just left the trade room and I made the grand total of $30 tonight. Okay. But I made that $30 in 15 seconds. So if you calculate $30 over 15 seconds, that's $120 an hour. It's really not as bad as it sounds. So, but the point is, not every trade is hundreds of dollars. Not every trade is a winner. But we teach you how to trade the news. We want you to find those winners. We want you to find trades like this. All right, let's take a look at a very nice little bond trade that we took a couple of months ago. This bond trade made $237.50. And that was literally, and that was in probably 10 seconds. I can show you, I don't know, a hundred different versions of that trade where members send us their graphics. Here's one of my best traders, $1,718 on core CPI in December. One of the best traders we have in our room. He's a fabulous trader. Here was one of my trades on the ADP report. We actually had that report today also, and I made $130 on it today. We trade the ADP report with gold. So the point is, we teach you where to find those trades. Where do you find them? You go to different websites. You go to websites like forexfactory.com, for instance, or you go to investing.com. And what you do is you go to those websites, they list all the news. For instance, Monday, Australia had retail sales. That's a tradable news item, okay? Especially because it's a red file folder, so to speak. And then you also had Tuesday, Australian GDP was a tradable trade. Again, red signifies high impact news. Canadian trade balance, not as big a trade as you'd think, but ADP non-farm is a trade we trade every month. It's an excellent trade. It's what we call a prime trade. It's a prime trade because it's been profitable more than 80% of the time. That's a prime trade. We help you locate and find these trades, and that's the whole idea of joining our service. Tomorrow, We are going to trade natural gas, even though it doesn't have a red marker. Usually we don't trade natural gas live because it's a very hard report to make money on. And again, we teach you that. Why waste your time and money trading a report that's hard to make money on? And we'll also trade a report that doesn't even show up here because it's a USDA, it's a Department of Agriculture report. And again, learning how to find these trades, besides just learning how to trade them, is what we do. That's called the WASD report, and we'll be trading that tomorrow. And that very possibly could be a live trade. We always tell people in the room if we're trading live or if we're trading sim, we don't hide what we're doing. We don't lie about anything. We are incredibly transparent. That is the nature of the way we run our business, and it will always be that way because that's the way that we like to do business. We want you to know the truth. I want to show you one of our favorite trades, if I can turn the sound off. U.S. retail news is one of the best trades that we trade. It's a prime trade. It's going to take place at 8:30. Look at that move. I was out of that trade with a profit of $600 in less than a second. It wasn't even enough time for the trade to register on my clock. That's how fast it was. And that's how good that trade is. That's not something that happens once a month only. It happens month after month. This is a prime trade. It's been positive 8 to 10 times over the past year every month. That's what a prime trade is. That's U.S. retail news. It's a phenomenal trade. We locate those trades for you and for us because we want to make money too, because we're trading for real. We're not faking it in the room. We're not just calling out trades. We're not just not showing our charts. We do the real thing. And we're honest about when we don't do it. And there are times when you don't want to trade a trade. If a report, if a news report tests poorly, if it tests, that it hasn't been performing well for the past 4 or 5 months, then pass on it. Why do you need to trade that report? There's a million news reports to trade. There's not a million, but there's, more than 30 a month you can trade that you could pick from. You could find 7 perfect reports to trade every month, 7 prime, plus good ones. So you don't have to trade the bad ones. Trade the good ones. We use NinjaTrader. We support NinjaTrader 7 and 8. We trade futures, not Forex, because the brokers don't fool around as much in futures as they do in Forex. If you trade Forex, I don't have to tell you what the brokers do before the trades. They make it harder to trade the news by moving the price, all right? And the day before a news trade is released, we send you this report called the HIRA, H-I-R-A, High Impact Report Alert. And it has this type of information on it. Of course, the name of the trade, the name of the report, sorry about that, the name of the report, and I can never go backwards in my slideshow. So let me go back because it's me, folks, so bear with me. Let me fix it. And I'll just start over if you can deal with it and zip through it real quick. Give me a second because it's important data. I want to show it to you. Here we go. Sorry about that. So let's go back to that screen where we had that report that we trade. Here it is. So this is the report that we send you the day before every trade. Tells you what we're trading. We're trading gold, the month, the risk. Usually a risk 2 is medium, risk 3 is higher, risk 4 is risky. Okay. We have also traded, and then there's text that just talks a little bit about the trade, gives some advice about the trade. We want you to be able to do this by yourself. without us. And if I hear the word slippage, James, one more time, I swear I'll jump off the roof. Yes, there's slippage, but the idea is really simple. You want to trade trades where you don't care if there's slippage. You want enough profit that it overcomes the slippage. There's slippage when you trade discretionary. There's slippage in the market. Slippage is like air. You can't get rid of it, but there are things you can do to reduce it. But I'm not going to sit here and tell you that there is no slippage, James. There is slippage, and it doesn't matter. There are reports that you don't trade if there's too much slippage, and history will tell you that. But there's reports, many reports, where there's a moderate amount of slippage or a medium amount of slippage, but there's a maximum amount of profit, and it overcomes the slippage. Non-farm payrolls, U.S. retail. I mean, I can go on and on and on. Those trades have slippage, and we make hundreds of dollars on them. So slippage, yes, it's there. Yes, it affects you, but it is not, people get all bent out of shape over slippage, and it's absurd. It's time to forget the worry about slippage and trade the good trades. If you trade the bad trades where all you have is slippage, then of course you're going to have problems. But again, we try to help you locate those trades where the slippage is manageable. So that's how we deal with slippage. But tell me you didn't run into slippage if you're in the news and Trump says something. Or if you're in the news and you don't know there's an oil report, you're going to get hit with slippage. So it's something you can't get rid of. We also have a trade called the trap trade. The trap trade is a reversal trade. It's a trade that we use on bank trades, bank statement trades, because our history of studying those trades has shown us that those trades go up and then they reverse, or they go down and then they reverse. And that's what our trap trade does. Like all the educators out there, we have a members area. There's videos. Our program is up there to download all sorts of information. You can download the HIRAs, etc. Okay, there's plenty of stuff you can do on our website. So it's just like every member's website, every educator's website. You can get plenty of good information, and it's, you know, it's what we give as a service for people that join our service. Everybody has a members area. With our service, you get our software. Software upgrades have always been free, and that's what I really want to get into now, because I said I'm only doing this for half an hour. I can show you trade after trade where we have made a ton of money. So let me, and our members have made a lot of money. $440 trading gold on durable goods. Okay, let me just show you a couple so you know I'm serious. A different member, a different trade, $270 trading gold. Okay, live accounts, not fake accounts, live accounts, or they wouldn't be crossed out. Core CPI, I showed you that one, $1,718, real trades. Okay, so I don't want to have to go through all these trades today, show you every trade that we made. I'll show you one more video of this was ADP non-farm. This is a relatively small trade, but we still trade it because sometimes it moves. It's an 830 trade, had small targets on it. Let's see if it did anything. Some trades get canceled because they don't move. We give it 10 seconds. You could see this trade didn't do anything. This particular trade, we have safety up. We gave it 20 seconds, but we do have safety features built in. It filled, and you can see it just kind of hung around. And this trade was not live because you can tell it says sim. So if you're in a room and they never show you a live trade, question them. Why do you never show a live trade? All right. But every trade, as I said before, is not $100 home run. Every trade is not a winner, but I can show you winner after winner. Australian trade balance, because our system is really good. But we've got something new, and I want to spend the last 10 minutes covering that because I think it's incredibly exciting and incredibly interesting. So we have a really good programmer, okay? And I noticed that the markets have a tendency, if you're a regular trader, you know that markets consolidate and they almost always break out of that consolidation either to the upside or to the downside. And I thought to myself, well, why don't I have the programmer add something? We had something called a range trade. The range trade, very simply, if you've ever traded oil or if you've ever traded gold at 8:20 in the morning, you could set up a simple 5-minute range. Let me bring up a chart. It'll help you to visualize it a little bit better. This chart has a range. So it'll create this range, okay? And then you can set up your orders right above the range or right below the range. So I noticed that markets were consolidating all the time, and then breaking out of the range. So I asked our programmer how we could deal with that. We had a program, we had a feature in our software that let you set up a simple range over any time period in minutes that you wanted. And you could say, enter the trade 3 ticks above the range, the high of the range, or 3 ticks below the low of the range. So in other words, that's the concept. High of the range, enter. Low of the range. If it gets broken, enter. And the problem with that feature was that it was requiring a lot of testing. How do you know that the 9 o'clock oil 5-minute range trade is still working if you don't test it every day? It became so time consuming that we realized our range trade had a flaw. And it had a flaw that was taking too much testing to determine if the trades would work. So it was very hard to bring those trades into our trade room because we didn't want to bring in trades we didn't test, and they required so much testing, we didn't bring in any trades. It was just like it just wasn't working for us. So we had the programmer change the system. And here's what we did. It's fascinating. I think it's fascinating because it was semi-accidental in one of the features that made the whole thing fantastic. Let me just turn the sound off and I'll show you what I'm talking about. So today, I realized that the beige book, which I've always thought there was a trade in the beige book somewhere, but I've never found it. So over the past month, we came out with this. We had our programmer change our range trade into what we call what we originally called a consolidation trade. And what it does is it puts the trade on the screen. It's always on the screen. The range stays on the screen, moves with the current price, and all you have to do to enter any trade is click the one-click range trade entry button. Bingo, you're in the trade. The second the trade is over, all you have to do to repeat the whole process again is click the enable button, and you can do it over and over and over. If you're a scalper, think about those possibilities. If you scalp gold and you see a setup that you like, you can use our software to automate your entry, to control your stops, move your stops, trail your stops, hit your targets, totally control the whole trade, other than possibly you might have some manual entries. Even that can be controlled automatically also. But today, to make a long story short, I thought to myself, there is a trade in this beige book. I know there is. We trade the N. One of the instruments that we're doing this trade on is the NQ with a 210 tick chart. Here's the other beautiful thing about this trade now. Excuse me. Our old range trade limited you to minutes. Now you can trade Renko, seconds, bars, anything that the software supports, any time frame you want, range trades, minutes, seconds, Renko bars, specialized Renko bars, 15 minutes. It just changed everything. Ticks. It absolutely changed everything because you don't have to trade news. We realized we have a trade that, wait a minute, guys, we're in trouble here. We're a news trading company, and we have a trade that's amazing when it's not a news trade. What are we going to do? So what we decided to do is just keep it as a free upgrade for our members and teach them how to use it. Try to come up with setups. And our members have been coming up with setups over and over and over. One of our members, Patrick, made 270 the other day live trading his setup. And he has a specific setup for the one-click range trade. He made 270. That was one day. Then on a Thursday, he made over $600. That was March 1st, I believe it was. So the point is, he's designing his own trades using this feature. Today, I said to myself, man, this beige book is driving me crazy for years. I've watched it, never got a trade out of it. I'm going to try the one-click range trade on it. So I set up a strategy. This is what our software looks like. Our software lets you choose the type of trade. It could be a breakout trade, or it could be a one-click range trade. You can use 3 positions. You could have 3 targets. You can reverse if stopped out if you want to. Put your stop in, of course. And then if your first target is hit, you can move your stop. If your second target is hit, you can move your stop again. And you can trail your stops if you want to do that. Okay? So I decided that the beige book had a trade. I set it up. It's a 2 o'clock trade. So I set it up with a target of 6, a target of 15, and then I trailed my stop. I figured I would give it 2 minutes because it's a report, and if nothing happened, I'd cancel it after 2 minutes. Normally our trades take place in seconds, but a report has to get read, although they are often released early. People know what's in them a lot of the time. But with a report, I'll usually give it 2 minutes. So I was hanging out, just waiting on the beige book to get released. I'll speed it up so you could just watch the trade. 1 second before the trade is the timing that I decided to use for the beige book. So we're now 4 seconds away. I'm going to click that button. And now my orders are on the trade, on the chart. And now you just sit, and if I get filled in 2 minutes, I'll have a trade, an active trade going. If the beige book is a nothingness, like we thought, then nothing will happen and I won't get filled. And sure as we're sitting here, I think it was right about 20 seconds into the trade, the NQ started to come to life. It went down, it hit 2 of my targets, hit my 3rd target, and bingo. Then it backed up, hit my trail, but in 40 seconds, I was out of the trade with 150 bucks. So now what that tells me is that the beige book may be a trade. So for us, what we do is we then go back and trade a couple of months of trades, or 6 months possibly, to make sure it's safe for our members. We're not just going to jump into the trade room and tell everybody, hey,
Hey,
the beige book is great. So that's how we deal with that stuff. We test, we test, we test, and we make it so it's safe for our members so they don't get stopped out whenever possible. We want you to make money, but the beige book looks promising. We just needed a way to find a way to trade it. And I believe that I discovered that today. So testing will tell us that. Okay. And that's our one-click range trade. You can use it to scalp. You can use it. Let me see if I can show you one other quick trade on that I believe I have here. Let me find it. Give me half a second. If I can't find it quick, then I won't torture you. But I think I do have it. Yep, I have it here. I believe that the NASDAQ at 1030 has a trade. I was taught this by one of the rooms I used to hang around in. And this particular trade, sometimes it happens a little bit earlier. And right about now, you could see I was in the trade already. Let me show you right before. It was 1032. I put myself into the trade. I saw that the price We'd gotten our signals. I'm not going to go over all our signals now because we don't have time to teach you how to do the trade here. Trust me, because you can see the trade got filled. The trade went in my direction according to my setup, as you saw before. And when I was done, literally, what was it, about 20 seconds, I had, even though it was sim, I'm being truthful here because we're testing this feature still, but it was over $200 in sim. It's also a low slippage trade because it's not a news-based trade all the time. Or if it's a news-based trade, it may be a great trade for small news. Okay. The big news, we have our breakout trade. And you've seen that a million times in these webinars. Our breakout trades are the trades that explode in a second. I'll show you one of those and then I'll get to our offer. It's 8:30. I said I was only going to take a half an hour. That's all I want to spend. Um, Let me just find that one great trade to show you. Let's show you, how about CPI? I think this was a pretty good one. I just want to make sure my audio is off. CPI is an 8:30 trade. It's going to be 5 seconds away from now. I have no idea. I don't remember what this trade made. I don't know. I believe it's profitable because it was in my profit folder. Let's see what it does. 5 seconds, the trade's gonna, there's our orders showing up on the chart automatically. That's what our software does, CPI. It popped up, hit my first target, hit my second target, $281, 6 seconds. Okay, that's a breakout trade. That's a perfect breakout trade. If they were all perfect, that would be wonderful, right? But that's what a perfect breakout trade looks like. One more time, orders get placed, orders get filled, trades over in a couple of seconds. We do that many times a month. It's not like we do it once every now and then. We do it many times a month. Okay. So we want you to be a member. You get our one-click range trade. It normally costs $14.97 for a year to join our service. One of our members made $4,500 trading 10 contracts on the oil report. We're offering 1 year for $497. If you have more questions and you want more info, because this is not a long webinar tonight, I'll give you my personal email, procol33@gmail.com. Otherwise, if you think that this is for you, for $497, it expires at midnight. Our coupon code is gold. Just go to www.newjob.info. Sign up. We would love to have you as a member. We respect our members incredibly. We truly treat our members like they are part of our family. Anybody that's in this room, and I see so many of my members in this room because I don't know why they come to my webinars, but they do. But they also like the guys at RightLine, who we work with and have been working with for a couple of years now. We have a great relationship with them. I would love if you learn how to use the one-click range trade with us. Come and join us for just $497 at newjob.info, coupon code GOLD. We would absolutely love for you to be a member. This expires Sunday night. One more time, $497, support at joebracketbreakout.net, or you could email me personally, PROCOL33, like the band Procol Harum, PROCOL33 at gmail.com. I would love to answer your emails if you have any questions. And we love what we do. You can tell I love what I do by how excited I am. I'm not faking any of this. I'm not in this for the money. I'm in this for love of news trading. I'm a news trading junkie. I'm an addict and I love doing it. And I love teaching people how to do it and how to try to make money at it. It's a very exciting, fun thing. And now with this new one-click range trade, I think it's the greatest thing we've come out with. It's really a fantastic tool. We want to teach you how to do it. So newjob, jobb.info, Coupon code GOLD, $4.97 a year, expires Sunday at midnight. I want to thank the guys at RightLine for having me. I'm going to send this webinar over to them. Thanks, Mark and Rory. Mark, the ball's in your court now. This is Lee Goldstein from thenewstraders.com. I thank you all so much for letting me come into your house tonight. And take care, everybody, and have a great rest of the evening.